Well, hello everyone. Happy Friday. Yeah, we've made it to the end of a week here, and I made it to the end of the week alive. Whew. It was looking touch and go there for a few minutes. No, not really. I'm just playing around. Welcome to the Scoreboard, 844 Studio 4. That's the phone number if you want to be a part of the program. Anything in the world of sports you want to talk about, feel free, call me up. We can chat. There's a lot to talk about, a lot going on. Baseball, hockey, women's basketball, NASCAR, Charlotte FC. And I'm missing a lot because there's so much going on. Not only this weekend, but throughout the summer. I know everybody's always like, it's the summer, it's baseball season. That's really it. No, there's plenty to talk about in the world of sports. We have the draft coming up for the NBA, for the NHL. The MLB draft is coming up. And actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about Major League Baseball and the draft a little bit later on in the show. We're going to talk baseball today because last night, man, we talked about yesterday the game at Rickwood Field between the Giants and the Cardinals. What an event that was by the MLB. And I want to spend some time talking about it because I think it was a really good job. But we got to figure out what it means for baseball. Not only in what does it mean to honor these players. That's not what I'm talking about. What does it mean in terms of interest in baseball, ratings, anybody actually tuning in to watch this game? If you were watching the game in the fifth inning, man, you were in for a treat. The top of the fifth, I thought my TV broke. Not really, but they started broadcasting it in black and white with old school camera angles. If you ever seen some of the videos from old games, that camera that sits behind home plate that's really high up in the air, just showing you the pitcher, the catcher, the batter, and the umpire. That's the camera angle that they were using in the top of the fifth inning. It was pretty cool to see, and it was awesome. Hearing all the stories, they brought so many of the older Negro League players out for this event. Interviewed them during the broadcast, and it was a great event for baseball all around. Now, I don't know how many people are too concerned with the result of the game, but the St. Louis Cardinals did end up victorious 6-5, the final score in this one. Tonight we have NHL action, game number 6 of the Stanley Cup Final, 8 o'clock on ABC. The Florida Panthers were up 3-0. Now they find themselves only up 3-2. A winning game 6. Look, I tell you, in hockey, it's different. Somehow, some way, you can make these comebacks. Now, it doesn't happen often, and I think it's only happened once in the Stanley Cup Final where a team came back from 3-0. But that's more than baseball. That's more than basketball. If Edmonton wins this game and sends it to Florida for a game 7, buckle up. It's going to be a good one. It really is. Because then it's whatever happens, happens. You never know. It's game 7. The puck accidentally bounces one way versus the other way, and all of a sudden the game's over and we have a new Stanley Cup champion. That's how it could happen. So we'll talk a little bit about the game coming up tonight. Florida Panthers 1 win away from the Stanley Cup championship. The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Loudon, New Hampshire for the USA Today 301 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Cup Series is going to be there, Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour as well. The Xfinity Series is, well, they're getting into qualifying here soon. We'll see how things go for them on the qualifying side of things. We're also Going to talk a little. I didn't mention it at the very beginning, but we're also going to talk a little College World Series. We have the final matchup set: Saturday game 1, Sunday game 2, possible game 3 on Thursday, matching up against a possible game 7 in the Stanley Cup final. You know, if it's me personally, I'm picking the Stanley Cup final over the College World Series game 3. I'm sorry, I just am. I really hope it doesn't end up happening. I hope we get a game 7 in hockey. And as much as I do wish that we had a game 3 in the College World Series, I wouldn't beat myself up over it if it didn't end up happening that way. Because we would all have our eyeballs on the Stanley Cup final. So I want to start the day talking about NASCAR as they head to New Hampshire this weekend, and we've talked about it throughout the week. I'm not the biggest fan of that racetrack. Flat track, it's a giant Martinsville. That's the only way to describe it, in my opinion, is it's an oversized Martinsville. It's got no banking. It's got no real personality to it. It's just there. It's more of a road course than anything because, well, there's a road course there that gets used. And no, don't get any ideas, NASCAR. Please do not send the Cup cars to the New Hampshire road course. That would be a big mistake. I think the Roval was a big mistake, but NASCAR still wants to go there. As we approach the weekend, here's an update on your standings as we go into race number 18. Chase Elliott, your point leader over Kyle Larson by only 8 points. Then it's Denny Hamlin and William Byron. Martin Truex Jr. rounding out the top 5. 3 Hendrick cars, 2 Gibbs cars in the top 5 in points. Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, and Ross Chastain round out your top 10. Speaking of Christopher Bell, we talked about it yesterday. Okay. There's a new driver coming to JGR with Martin Truex Jr. retiring. There's been a lot of rumors that it could be Chase Briscoe. Today, Christopher Bell was in a open media session before New Hampshire, and here is just Christopher Bell chatting.
No, I don't think that there really is a leadership role in that aspect. And whenever Chase comes into the car, whenever I don't even know what to say. Whenever we have a new driver into the 19 car, whoever that is.
Little bit of a slip of the tongue there for Christopher Bell. We'll talk a little bit about it after the commercial break. Stay tuned. We're going to stay on NASCAR. You're listening to The Scoreboard. We'll be back right after this.
Keep it right here. We'll have more of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg in just a moment from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, here comes the big-time heat, really cranking it up as we head into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine today as we climb into the low 90s for it this afternoon. Overnight, it'll stay mild with a mostly clear sky, only dipping back down to around 70. For our Saturday and Sunday, plan on mid-90s, but feels like temperatures with all the humidity closer to 100 degrees. Stay cool and stay safe. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The app with Lake Norman deals. The WSIC app is out now, wherever you get your apps.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live gets your weekend off to an early start on Thursday night with a Kids in America concert. This totally 80s tribute band will get you up and dancing. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert beginning at 7. We will see you and your chairs Thursday, June 20th at Langtree, Lake Norman. Friday night at RevFast in Mooresville is the monthly Hot Rods and Hops car show. Cool cars, motorcycles, and trucks will be on display. LKN Mobile Eats and Hop Town Brewing will be on hand with smash burgers and cold brews. Join us Friday after 5 p.m. at the Late Apex Storage Condos in Mooresville for Hot Rods and Hops. Birkdale's Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday. The Ryan Bumgarner solo musical performance begins at 6 p.m. Kick back and relax on the green in front of the stage at Birkdale Village in Huntersville for the free Ryan Bumgarner concert Friday night. The annual Symphony in the Park is back this Saturday in Cornelius. Bailey Road Park welcomes the Charlotte Symphony and fireworks. Bring your chairs and blankets to enjoy this free, family-friendly show. The Symphony in the Park program and fireworks celebration begins at 6 p.m. Saturday at Bailey Road Park in Cornelius. The Kane Center for the Arts Week 3 of summer camps begins Monday, June 24th. Morning and afternoon camps for ages 5 to 17 include art, ceramics, paint, and clay. For more information on summer camp programs, visit canearts.org. That's C-A-I-N arts.org. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series is racing ahead at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 10-race series night number 4 is on Tuesday, June 25th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Who is this? This is 105.9 100.7.
WSIC. Local starts here.
Talk sports with Joe Berg. Call 844-STUDIO-4. It's the Scoreboard on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, everyone, we are back. Segment number 2 here on the Scoreboard. Oh, Christopher Bell. Little bit of a slip of the tongue. It's pretty funny, if you ask me. He was doing some media before the New Hampshire event this weekend, talking about leadership in Joe Gibbs. And, well, here it is one more time. Here's Christopher Bell just talking. He's just talking during a media day here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
I don't think that there really is a leadership role in that aspect. You know, and whenever Chase comes into the car, whenever I don't even know what to say. Whenever we have a new driver into the 19 car, whoever that is, their experience level will dictate how much input they have in the team.
Well, yeah, so I guess we know who's going to be the driver of the 19 now. We heard it from a driver. I'd say that's pretty good knowledge of the situation. Oh, Christopher Bell. What are you doing? That's funny. That's funny. Now, I'm going to keep you guys in the loop. The driver he's talking about is Chase Elliott. No, I'm joking. It's not Chase Elliott. It's Chase Briscoe, driver of the number 14 for Stewart Haas Racing, shutting down at the end of the year. Gene Haas, now we talked about this yesterday. Gene Haas is going to hold on to one of the charters that Stewart Haas Racing has. And with that charter, he's going to form a new entity called Haas Factory Team. It's widely believed that Cole Custer is going to be the driver for that team, but the other 3 charters are going away. The drivers for Stewart Haas Racing, they got to find jobs next year. And here's how they fare right now. Chase Briscoe, 17th in points. He has 1 top 5, 5 top 10s. Then you have Josh Berrien, 21st in points. It seems like he's had a little bit of a better year than just 21st in points, but that's where he is. 1 top 5, 4 top 10s. Noah Gregson, 24th. 24th in the points. 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. I'm sorry, 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s. And then you have Ryan Preece. 1 top 5, 1 top 10 on the year. It's not a good showing for Stewart-Haas Racing drivers. And they got to find a home at the end of this season. They need a new ride. I don't know where Noah Gregson's going to land. I don't know where Josh Berry is going to land. Ryan Preece. We now know where Chase Briscoe is going to go. We know that none of the other 3 remaining drivers at Stewart-Haas are going to be driving the new entity called Haas Team 1 or whatever it is. So these guys got to find a home. And I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of them. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because Josh Berry, I like him. He's a young driver, up and coming, and he's having a good year there in the 4-car. Well, he's not that young, I should say. He's young in the Cup Series. Then you have Noah Gragson, who is a little bit of a younger driver. Where's he going to land? He's been bouncing around a little bit after his run with Motorsports Legacy Club did not work out. Legacy Motorsport Club, whatever it is. LMC, you know who it is. Who? Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson. Ryan Preece, man, I haven't seen much from him. What's he most known for? Barreling down Daytona backstretch in one of the most gnarly crashes I've seen. It's going to be an interesting end to the season. I don't know where these drivers are going to go, but I think it's so funny that during a press conference, Christopher Bell accidentally told the world who was going to be driving the 19 car next year. So congratulations, I guess, are in order to Chase Briscoe. There's no official announcement yet. I don't think we need an official announcement now. And I know you guys weren't able to see the video, but if you just go on YouTube and look it up and maybe watch that video of Christopher Bell accidentally saying who's going to drive the 19 car, right when he said, let's hear it one more time. Let's hear it one more time. I just can't get over how funny this is.
I don't think that there really is a leadership role in that aspect. You know, and whenever Chase comes into the car,
the way he just stops after the way Chase comes in, when Chase comes into the car, he stops, he drops his microphone, and you can see it in his face. He's like, oh no, what have I done? He looks over at somebody off camera and he's like, I don't know what to say anymore. It's got to be a helpless feeling for him, man. I feel for Christopher Bell. I like Christopher Bell. I think he's a real good driver. But he's got to keep his mouth shut, apparently. Oh, man. That's pretty funny. So we'll see what happens next year with not Chase Elliott, but Chase Briscoe in the 19 car. As I was letting you guys know earlier, we do have some things going on at the New Hampshire Speedway as we speak, including the Xfinity Series, currently qualifying. I'm going to bring you some updates on that whenever I can see the leaderboard, because for some reason I'm having a problem getting it to load on my end, and I don't know what's going on over there just yet. Looks like they're in a red flag for qualifying. I know there's weather in Loudon expected, especially this weekend. I don't know about right now, but the NASCAR Xfinity Series is qualifying as we speak. Let's move on from the NASCAR world, get into some other things. Last night, Major League Baseball put together one of the best shows that they have in a long time. Rickwood Field was played on by an American League and National League team for the first time in Major League Baseball history. Rickwood Field is in Birmingham, Alabama, home to the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues for plenty of years through the 20s through the 40s. And there were some pre-game ceremonies there. They brought together a lot of the old players, and when I say old, I do mean old. These players, some of them out there were 99 years old. Living legends of the game. And it was wonderful to see. They had the first pitch, some of the older players throwing that out. The broadcast highlighting a lot of history, not only at the field, and they were talking about how they made the ballpark ready for a Major League Baseball game. They actually dug the entire thing up and repositioned the field 5 degrees differently, just so that they could get it set for a Major League Baseball game with the standards that they have nowadays. I was surprised by how many empty seats there were. But then I thought about how much they would have made ticket prices in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm like, I hope they didn't make the tickets way too expensive for the people that are living there in Birmingham. But what a night. It was a big day for baseball, getting to celebrate not only all of the Negro Leagues, but also Willie Mays, who passed away recently, just a few days ago. I don't know if it's poetic or what it is, but the fact that we got to celebrate his life at this field where he began playing baseball and go on to have a magnificent Major League Baseball career. And I mean, like, one of the best Major League I would take his career over a lot of people's careers. But Willie Mays was celebrated throughout the entirety of the game. And like I said, the St. Louis Cardinals, they ended up victorious, winning 6-5. Now, I haven't seen anything about the ratings yet for the game, and I'm going to keep my eye on it because that is important. But if you were tuned into that, give me a call, 844-STUDIO-4. I want to hear from you guys if you were tuned into baseball last night, taking a look at the game at Rickwood Field. What'd you think? Was it worth it? Did you even know it was going to happen? Because it did kind of sneak up on me a little bit, but then you started hearing more about it as the news broke of the passing of Willie Mays, and man, it stinks that he's gone right before we go to Rickwood Field and all that stuff. But give me a call, 844-STUDIO-4. That's 844-788-3464. I'm curious what everybody thought about the game last night between the Cardinals and the Giants. Like I said, if you missed the top of the 5th inning, you missed a wonderful moment. We're going to head to a commercial break here. Don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll talk about some more baseball and get into hockey. We're back after this.
More of Sports Director Joe Berg's The Scoreboard is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, here comes the big-time heat, really cranking it up as we head into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine today as we climb into the low 90s for it this afternoon. Overnight, it'll stay mild with a mostly clear sky, only dipping back down to around 70. For our Saturday and Sunday, plan on mid-90s, but feels like temperatures with all the humidity closer to 100 degrees. Stay cool and stay safe. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
More than a century ago, Bunch Johnson Funeral Home was founded on compassion. Let us assist you with pre-planning for funerals and cremations. Our family is here when you need us. Bunch Johnson Funeral Home.
If you're 65 or older, and Medicare is your main source of insurance. Pay close attention right now and listen for details on how you may save thousands of dollars on your health care costs. Did you know that Medicare can pay for things like dental visits, home delivery of drugs, even a gym membership? Call us right now and learn how to unlock all your Medicare benefits. Medicare and supplemental plans that we provide can even offer you drug coverage with zero copays and pay for transportation to your doctors. Medicare plans can offer you wonderful money-saving benefits, but you've got to call now. We'll help you get the most out of your Medicare. Make this free, no-obligation call now. Save a ton of money on your health care costs and get the code to unlock all your earned Medicare benefits. Paid for by Senior Choice Plans. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. That's 800-508.
Learn how thousands of smart homeowners are investing about $1 to avoid expensive home repair bills. John, a former non-customer, said, "My air conditioner broke and I had to spend $1,900 to fix it." Jeff, a customer, wrote, "My air conditioner broke and I got a new one at no out-of-pocket cost." Mary, a former non-customer, wrote, "My heating system stopped running. I had to spend $3,000 to get a new one." Lisa, a customer, wrote, "My heater stopped working. I got it fixed at no out-of-pocket cost." For about $1 a day, you can have all the major appliances and systems in your home guaranteed fixed or replaced. Call now. If the lines are busy, please call back.
Call the Home Warranty Hotline now at 800-826-9149. 800-826-9149. 800-826-9149. That's 800-826-9149.
76 years strong, and we're still the one. WSIC. News. Talk. Now.
I'm Bryce Johnson with this Unpacking It Sports and Faith Minute. Many sports fans find it easy to get bitter when they see the same team winning year after year, and it's not their favorite team. Sports bitterness is one thing, but the bitterness that affects everyday life is even more harmful. When we allow bitterness to build up, the person who hurt us in the situation that disappointed us keep on winning. After a while, the bitterness ends up weighing us down and extending our pain. But Jesus invites us into a life of freedom, and we can trust Him to give us the strength we need to forgive and to move forward instead of hanging on to bitterness. In Ephesians it says, "Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice." Today, as we consider how bitterness hurts us more than someone else, let's ask God to help us let go of our bitterness. I'm Bryce Johnson, and you can unpack that. For more, go to thesportsdevotional.com.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. There is no decision yet. That's what the Department of Justice is telling the families of nearly 350 people who died in two plane crashes in 2018 and 2019 about whether it will bring criminal charges against Boeing, the company that made the planes. The Justice Department has already decided Boeing broke a 2021 agreement with the government. The New York Times says the department is leaning against criminal charges and towards requiring an independent quality and safety monitor at Boeing. Those problems have been part of what's delayed plane deliveries to airlines, and those delays, plus uneven travel demand, now have American Airlines suspending training for new pilots through the end of the year. United had suspended training in May and June. On Wall Street, the moves were very small. The Dow up less than 0.1%, the Nasdaq and S&P down about 0.2%. The Dow up 16, the Nasdaq down 32, the S&P falling 9. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
The Scoreboard with Joe Berg continues now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Second half of the show here, 844-788-3464. Let's take a look at these MLB standings, huh? It's an anomaly this year. It's like you have a few, and by a few, I really mean a few, really good teams. There's like 4 of them. Then you have mediocrity littered throughout the MLB. And there's a couple of them that aren't faring too good this year. When you look at the Major League Baseball standings, it is pretty funny to look at, actually. There are currently 12 teams with a winning record in baseball. 12. Yes, that's it. Just 12. It gets even better when you look at it league by league. The National League has 4 teams. Four teams with a winning record. We're almost in July now. The Midsummer Classic is coming. It's almost All-Star break time. How are there only 4 National League teams with a winning record? Behind them, there's like 10 teams that are right around 500. And when you look at the wild card standings in the National League, there's only 2 teams that are really out of it right now. The Rockies and the Marlins. Other than that, it's so mediocre that the entire National League can still like put it together. Now I know mathematically the Marlins, the Rockies, they could figure it out, but let's be real. They're not going to the playoffs. But everybody else, I mean, the Cincinnati Reds are the third worst team in the National League. They are a game and a half out of the playoffs. Everybody is stuck in mediocrity right now. It's insane. I've never seen anything like this in the baseball standings. 844-STUDIO-4. That's 844-788-3464. Some baseball going on later on tonight. First game of the day has already finished. The New York Mets taking down the Chicago Cubs. Final score 11-1. Also, in the baseball world, we talked about it on the other side of the break. MLB heading to Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. I would say it is one of the best events that baseball has put on in a long time. And it came at the right time, too. It did. Other baseball going on around the world. We have the NCAA. College World Series. The final matchup is set. It'll be Texas A&M taking on Tennessee, the Volunteers. Game number 1 is tomorrow, 7:30. Game 2, 2 o'clock on Sunday. And if we need a game 3, it'll be an hour before the Stanley Cup Final, Game 7, 7 o'clock on Monday. Don't expect me to let that go anytime soon. The best thing that can happen here is either we don't get a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup or we don't get a Game 3 of the College World Series. Otherwise, if this does happen, there is going to be backlash. And I would expect a lot of it. Because you want to watch these events, but when you put them at the same time, you can't watch these events. I got some breaking news here coming into the studio. A statement being released by Barry Sanders. It reads, to all my supporters over Father's Day weekend, I experienced a health scare related to my heart. It was unexpected and served as a reminder of the importance of staying vigilant about our physical well-being, even when we are feeling fine. Per my doctor's recommendations, I'm taking this opportunity to prioritize my health and well-being. I appreciate your understanding and continued support. So a little health scare there for Barry Sanders, one of the greatest running backs of all time. Man, I hope we don't lose Barry anytime soon. That'd be really upsetting. 55 years old, Barry Sanders. A little bit of a heart scare over Father's Day weekend. Wishing him nothing but the best. That just broke into the studio right as we were talking here. Man, some upsetting news there. Hopefully all is well and good with Barry. So the College World Series, anyway, as I was saying, Game 3 would be Monday. I hope we don't get there. Although I kind of do. I'd love nothing more than to see nobody complain about it other than me. I'm the only one that's upset that they schedule Game 3 of the College World Series right at the same time as Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. It's just me. But, we're probably not going to get there anyway. That'd be something. Speaking of the Stanley Cup Finals, we have a game tonight. Game number 6. Here's the problem, and I mentioned it after Game 4, because Game 4, Game 5, if you don't remember, Game 5 was a few days ago. It's been a little while since we played hockey here. But game number 6 coming up today. This is the problem. And I don't know how much of a problem it really is, but Game 5 was on Tuesday night. Wonderful game. One of the best hockey games of the year, in my opinion. Back and forth action, goal explosion in the second period. Everything you want in a hockey game. Everything you want. You take the momentum of that game, and now we waited 2 days for Game 6. And Game 6 is tonight. I'm not talking about the momentum for the players game to game. I'm more talking about momentum for interest, fan interest, people, casual fans who just happen to turn it on. Say, oh my goodness, now we have to wait all the way until Friday? We just watched it on Tuesday. Now, if Edmonton wins, they would force a Game 7. Game 7 wouldn't be over the weekend. It would be on Monday. What are we doing? What are we doing here, guys? The NHL, ESPN, both of them. There's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way to schedule these things. I would think that you would get the most viewership primetime on a Sunday night. Why not? Once again, though, I'm proving I probably don't know much about anything at all because that's not what they're doing. You're going to have the game on a Monday night up against the College World Series if it gets to a Game 3. We'll talk a little bit more hockey when we come back from this commercial break. By the way, I still haven't really seen anything about the NASCAR Xfinity Series qualifying. I'm having a little bit of problem getting things to load here in the studio. The internet's being a little bit slow for me today. But I'll see what I can find during this next commercial break. Possibly give you an update on what's going on over in Loudon, New Hampshire with the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But before I do that, I got to let you know we got to head to commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk a little hockey. I will do my best to update you on the NASCAR Xfinity Series. You're listening to The Scoreboard, and we're back after this.
More of Sports Director Joe Berg's The Scoreboard is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, here comes the big-time heat really cranking it up as we head into the weekend. Plenty of sunshine today as we climb into the low 90s for it this afternoon. Overnight, it'll stay mild with a mostly clear sky, only dipping back down to around 70. For our Saturday and Sunday, plan on mid-90s, but feels like temperatures with all the humidity closer to 100 degrees. Stay cool and stay safe. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Lab gets your weekend off to an early start on Thursday night with a Kids in America concert. This totally 80s tribute band will get you up and dancing. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert beginning at 7. We will see you and your chairs Thursday, June 20th at Langtree, Lake Norman. Friday night at RevFast in Mooresville is the monthly Hot Rods and Hops car show. Cool cars, motorcycles, and trucks will be on display. LKN Mobile Eats and Hop Town Brewing will be on hand with smash burgers and cold brews. Join us Friday after 5 p.m. at the Late Apex Storage Condos in Mooresville for Hot Rods and Hops. Birkdale's Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday. The Ryan Bumgardner solo musical performance begins at 6 p.m. Kick back and relax on the green in front of the stage at Birkdale Village in Huntersville for the free Ryan Bumgardner concert Friday night. The annual Symphony in the Park is back this Saturday in Cornelius. Bailey Road Park welcomes the Charlotte Symphony and fireworks. Bring your chairs and blankets to enjoy this free, family-friendly show. The Symphony in the Park program and fireworks celebration begins at 6 p.m. Saturday at Bailey Road Park in Cornelius. The Kane Center for the Arts Week 3 of summer camps begins Monday, June 24th. Morning and afternoon camps for ages 5 to 17 include art, ceramics, paint, and clay. For more information on summer camp programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series is racing ahead at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 10-race series night number 4 is on Tuesday, June 25th. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
When you have problems with your heating system, you need SHA Mechanical. Serving the region since 1975, SHA will make sure your system always stays in the best condition. Visit SHA Mechanical online at shamechanical.com.
Now more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, everyone, welcome back. You're listening to the Scoreboard. 844 Studio 4. It's 844-788-3464. Xfinity qualifying rained out. The NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour qualifying rained out. Way too much rain to get anything done. According to NASCAR rule, the pole sitter for Xfinity will be Cole Custer, Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer, Riley Herbst, and Sheldon Creed round out the top 5. So we're gonna have to get used to that this weekend as we look at the Loudon, New Hampshire weather. The chance of precipitation tomorrow and Sunday is not at all promising. A lot of rain throughout, not only the early morning hours, but also in the afternoon. Seems like there would be a window later in the day on Monday, but most likely, if everything doesn't happen the way NASCAR wants it to, we could possibly see racing on a Tuesday here. There is a lot of rain in the area. A lot of rain in the area. Thunderstorms tomorrow and Sunday. The chance of precipitation is no lower than 30% for the next 3 days. So we'll see what happens. But it could be a long weekend in New Hampshire. Hopefully NASCAR takes the hint and never goes to this track ever again. I know, harsh words, right? Harsh words for Loudon, but I'm tired of this place. It's not a good race. It's not a good track. It's just whatever. Now I say that, and watch, we're going to have the actual closest finish in NASCAR history. It's going to be a real dead heat, and we're going to have to use tie-breaking rules to determine the winner. That's probably what's going to happen. We're going to turn our attention to some other things real quick that are in the news. WNBA All-Star voting is in. It's not total. It's just early. Right now, Aja Wilson has the most votes, but the second most votes go to Caitlin Clark. This is the problem with having a fan vote for the All-Star game. If you remember, back in 2016 in the NHL, the fans voted John Scott into the All-Star game. He played 11 NHL games that year. And he was the MVP of the All-Star game. It's pretty funny what they did. It was a joke, but it wasn't like that's a joke. It was a prank that fans pulled. Yeah, haha, funny prank. We voted you into the All-Star game. But it kind of showed the power of fan votes for All-Star games. And that's where I have a concern. Caitlin Clark, I don't know if she should be an All-Star just yet. She didn't get voted onto the Olympic team. Maybe things are getting better for her, yes, but most votes, let's relax a little bit. If it were me, I would be voting for Angel Reese for the All-Star game. She has broken the record for double-doubles in a row by a rookie. But here's the voting difference. Caitlin Clark, 216,000 votes. Angel Reese, 118,000 votes. Big difference there, if you ask me. Now, I know the attention is on Caitlin Clark, but we really should have some attention on Angel Reese. She's having a great rookie year, and she is a great player. Other things that are in the news right now, there was a little bit of a word from Kansas that they are trying to get the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Royals away from Missouri. They currently play on the Missouri side of Kansas City, not on the Kansas side of Kansas City, but apparently they're trying to get those two teams back into Kansas. Keep an eye on this. There was an approved measure with bipartisan supermajorities that is allowing for neighboring areas to start planning for a stadium to be built. That's going to be interesting. Same city, but two different states, St. Louis, yeah, whatever. I just thought that was funny that, they do play in Kansas City, but they're on the Missouri side of Kansas City, where a majority of people live in Kansas City anyway. Also, yesterday it broke that J.J. Redick is the new head coach for the LA Lakers, former player himself, also former ESPN analyst. I don't really have much of a reaction to this. I really feel like anytime LeBron has a new coach, they're just a puppet. But I don't want to be that mean, even though I did just say it. But J.J. Redick, the new head coach of the LA Lakers. And probably they'll sign Bronny James, and then LeBron will come back, and they'll go for a championship. I don't think the Lakers are going to win a championship with LeBron or Bronny. If they want to win another championship, go somewhere else. Go to a team that wasn't trying to do everything that you wanted them to do. Go to a team that built a good... Go to the Knicks. Do that. Bring a championship to the Knicks. See what happens. Maybe some people will like you for that one. Knicks haven't won a championship since the 70s. I said we would talk a little hockey tonight. Game number 6 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Connor McDavid is the greatest athlete right now, in my opinion. And I would probably give Scottie Scheffler a close second. And then maybe Shohei Ohtani to round out my podium of greatest athletes right now in their sport. Dominant athletes in their sport. Connor McDavid is breaking Wayne Gretzky records. It was commonly accepted that Wayne Gretzky records are unbreakable. Most points in a playoff, he has a chance to beat that. He said his own. He's doing things that nobody has done. He scored 4 points in back-to-back Stanley Cup final games. He tops my list of the best athletes at their sport. Maybe just the best athletes in general. Scottie Scheffler, I got it second because of the run that he's been on recently. He is just dominating the golf world. And then Ohtani, I got to put Ohtani there because he's Shohei Ohtani. We saw what he did last year. He can't do it this year because of the injury, but he's still having a great season. Am I missing anybody? I don't think Messi belongs on there. I mean, he's not the dominant player that he once was. He's still a very good player, don't get me wrong. We don't have Tom Brady anymore. Patrick Mahomes, maybe top 5 in that conversation. Am I missing anybody? 844 Studio 4. We got a couple of minutes left here. Let me know the best athletes right now. Not best athlete in their sport, just the best right now. I got Connor McDavid as number 1. Scottie Scheffler will put him at 2, and then Shohei Ohtani 3rd. That's my list. Call me up before the end of the program. While we begin wrapping up the end of the program, let's talk about some things that happened on this day in sports history on this wonderful Friday. June 21st, 1939, Lou Gehrig announced his retirement after doctors reveal he has ALS. Now, the Lou Gehrig speech would not come until the 4th of July, but the retirement was on this day. On this day, 1950, Joe DiMaggio got his 2000th hit. Also on this day, in the 2000s, actually, a little bit more recent, 2012, the Miami Heat won their 2nd consecutive NBA title as they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 5. Game 5. Man, was that a team right there for the Heat. That was a time to be alive in sports. Thanks, everyone, for tuning into the Scoreboard today. It was a wonderful week. I made it through. We were a little under the weather earlier in the week, but pulled through, got to Friday. Everybody stay cool this weekend. It is going to be brutally hot. I'm happy because the days are going to start getting shorter, which means hopefully soon it's going to cool off and we get some chilly weather coming back. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you Monday. Until then, see ya.
100.7 WSIC.